Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. This is the detailed office/filming room video. I did a big declutter and defrag where basically at the beginning of the year I like to go through and put my hands on all my supplies, get rid of what I'm not using, consolidate because I do use up a bunch of stuff during the year, so kind of consolidate stuff so I don't have gaps here and there and basically end up with some empty shelves and you know, all my products in good working order. And on that video I asked if anyone would like to see a detailed tour of either my room of hoard or my office, and here it is. So if you want to see the detailed room of the video of the room of hoard, that's already up on my YouTube channel, or if it's not, it will be soon. So you can go check that out. But this is just going to be the office/filming room, and I do have a lot of stuff in here too. I don't want you to feel like you need to have this amount of stuff. I don't want this to come off as bragging. This is my business, and I have been teaching art for decades. So before it was on YouTube, it was in real life in the studio downtown. So here we go. With all those disclaimers out of the way, I hope you enjoy. Let's start off in the corner, and hopefully I won't forget to mention anything. So in this corner, I have this cart, and that is filled with my oft-used card making supplies. I've got pre-cut card bases. When I run out of card bases, I just go cut a bunch of new ones. And then I also have all my scraps and trimmed down to 4 inches by 5 1/4, so it will fit an A2 card. Any scraps smaller than that, I trim down to 3 by 4 so I can use it as a panel on the inside of a card. And I've got all of these little papers in rainbow order. And if you checked out back at the beginning of 2020, I did a video on making backgrounds with scraps, and so we made a bunch of serendipity backgrounds, and I ended up with like two boxes like this, and I've worked it down to just one. So I have used a bunch of those, and then I've got just a variety of different collage things and stickers and little collage pads and things like that. I've done a video on what's in my card making cart too, so you can check that out if you want more information. But I kind of like to rotate stuff in there every once in a while too, so I have fresh things to work with. And obviously I can't keep all my supplies in this cart, so by moving stuff around, shuffling things through, then I get to use different things and it doesn't get stale and boring. This is all fabric. This used to be in my room of hoard, but I moved it in here. But I have all sorts of, you know, different fabrics in here so that I can make stuff. Obviously, you know why I have all these supplies? Because I like to make stuff. I don't just have it to have it, I like to make stuff. I've got buttons in that. It's actually an advent calendar. And after the chocolates are all gone, I just put my buttons in there, sorted buttons. I still have jars of buttons I could sort, but that's where I have them. Box of tissues, paper towels. These are my most often used mediums. I have clear gesso, clear watercolor ground, and white watercolor ground. This card here is from my friend Ophelia. She's such an amazing abstract artist. I'll link her channel down below. If I don't remember to, make sure you remind me to, because her stuff is so cute. And she sent me this little note card, and I had to save it. And there's just a little jar of buttons and my threads and matching bobbins, and I do use that thread. So it's very, very handy to have it like that, have it up there on one of those displays. Some people don't like to do that, but I think it's really handy to have it like that. Oh, it's my YouTube button I got when I hit 100,000 subscribers. This is a container that my husband got me for Christmas, and I put my oil pastels in it, sorted by color. These mugs are from Studio 207 Pottery, and I love to keep brushes in them. I think they're super cute. My sister got me that one last year for Christmas and this one this year for Christmas. And then I have my water-based markers here. And then in this cubby, this is one of these cubbies from like Home Depot or Walmart or Target, wherever. I have a bunch of stuff I use pretty frequently. I'm just going to lock down my camera so it doesn't go falling. Okay, I think it's going to stay put. I hope so. So in here, I have just like salt and trays to keep colored pencil organized, and hairspray, and you know, some silicone tip tools for colored pencil, and for oil pastel, and Q-tips. You know, just kind of the everyday ugly stuff that you need. Here I have a spray bottle of water. I've got this for filling up my water brushes. This is a just a little Kool-Aid or flavor enhancer bottle. I got some markers and some blending brushes in the back, and these are my all-purpose wash / acrylic brushes there. And I got a couple small gel plates and rulers. There's an empty cubby for, you know, whatever I happen to stash in there. I've got some of my favorite colored pencil sets there. And sketchbooks. And then over there I've got pastel pencils, and I also have some like craft knives and water brush pens. The ink-filled water brush pens are kind of fun to use. This is stuff that I'm working on. These are projects I'm working on now. I'm working on a crayon, a wax crayon comparison video, and also I've got a resin project planned, so that's all the supplies there for that. And in the bottom I have a kind of a personal art challenge coming up that I've got my mini canvases in there for. So the stuff that's in these, this is just like all the time, everyday stuff I need, and this is sketchbooks I use every day. But the rest of that, and those are pastel pencils that I use quite often just for a little zhuzhing up of some paintings. But a lot of times the things I like to have in the office are things that I'm currently working on, so that I have them kind of on deck and ready to go when I have time. Actually, what I'll put in here is this. So this is one of my next projects I'm going to work on, which is a little stained glass that I got for Christmas. So I think I'll put that right there. So I have it handy. So I just got to find my soldering iron, and I'll be all set to do that. Moving over here, I got to unlock my camera. Moving over here, I've got a large gel plate. Oh, my camera's falling. I've got a large gel press. I've also got this thing I made with L's from the Dollar Tree. What are they called? L squares or whatever from the Dollar Tree. My husband cut some wood to fit it, and I can use that to line up my gel plate and my prints and whatnot. It's really, really handy. And then I've got some large resin molds under there that I'm going to use for a project coming up here soon. Now let's lock this down again because I'm afraid my camera is going to take a very expensive fall. Okay, these are color cubes. These are really awesome. I did a video on these. You can check it out. I've got my overpriced crayons up there. These are my alcohol markers, my open stock alcohol markers that I would generally grab for a project. And I can work right here on said project. And I can also fold it up out of the way. And I have a little ledge here where I have some mixed media paper from Walmart and some cheap watercolor paper from Walmart. This actually really, it's really okay. It's okay quality. It's fine for swatching, which is what I would grab that for, because I'm not going to grab arches or necessarily swatch in a sketchbook. I'll grab that. It's good enough for swatching. And then I'll do more finished work either on cotton paper or in a sketchbook. So that's... And I got some oil paints that I need to try out pretty soon. But there, got a paper cutter, stapler, tape, you know, your typical office stuff. So moving right around, we have my easel, which one of the reasons I moved things around in here was so I could fit a large canvas on my easel, because I couldn't before, it was too cramped. So that's there. And then let's kick that out of the way. And then I've got a crate in behind where I have some clipboards, I have a little table easel, I have a heated pad for, well, I actually got it for working in the cold room of Hoard, but I found that's really great for putting under my colored pencil or pastel crayon work if I want to have a heated surface. And then I've got some kind of general purpose pencils there. I like them because they have colored barrels, so they look really cute in the background, but also they're pretty opaque and nice for touching up artworks. Now, if I don't know where to put the camera for this, I guess I'll just move it like this and try to zoom in a little bit. I have stuff I need to have an easy reach there. You know what? I'm going to actually move my chair out of the way. Alright, it's a weird angle, but you're actually sitting on my table right now. I have a airbrush compressor right here for small airbrush work, and my airbrush is actually just on a hook right under here. So I have that there. Then I have my heat tool right here for drying stuff or for embossing. In here, this is actually a paper towel holder with Viva paper towels, because they work better than regular paper towels. I've got glue sticks, pencil sharpeners, sanders, clear post-it notes, sponges, erasers, credit cards, scrapers, electric erasers, really handy. Gouache, white gouache for highlights. This is right here, handy, so I can just grab it when I'm working. In here's another batch of handy things: masking tape, porcelain palettes, spray bottles with water and alcohol in them for cleaning up and effects. And yeah, that's just right there, right next to where I sit, so I can always have it within reach. And I have some just post-it notes back there, or a notepad just for like writing notes. Let's see. Also, under my table, I have a trash can. And I have Inktense and Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s and a palette to sharpen them into, and a little set of Jolly Gouache right there. It's not exciting. It's not exciting, friends, but it does the trick. It gets the job done. And then under here I have little drawers with treasures in them. I'm going to bring my light over, hopefully, so it's a little easier to see, maybe. Okay, yeah, I think you can see that pretty well. Alright, so in here I have templates. Here I have water brushes and empty watercolor pans. Here I have blue and purple watercolors. I know it's excessive. Green and yellows. And reds. So they're sorted by color. So I have cool reds, warm reds, earthy reds, etc. Here I have, markers that are filled with paint markers. I've got some larger watercolor palettes here, my Pike and my Jones palette. And then this is just kind of like lens cloths and chapstick and gum and, you know, chargers and stuff like that. Office-y stuff. Some oil painting supplies there. Water mixable oils. I got some colored pencil and drawing supplies in there. Got Gamsol and Conte crayons and lots of random stuff. I don't know what something is. Some sort of plastic thing. A couple random Inktense blocks in white. You know, the basics. Brush and pencil stuff. I've got extra drawing supplies and granulating watercolors. This is also kind of a flux drawer where it's kind of like stuff I use. I didn't want to put the granulating watercolors in with my regular stash. And then I've got swatching materials and pens. These are my favorite pens right now. They're the Tombow Fudenosuke, and I love these pens right now. They're my favorite, so I bought an extra pack when because they were still on sale. And then I have extra fountain pens and refills and liners and all that sort of stuff. Very exciting. Also on my desk I have these new pastel color pencils, the Brute Funer 72s, and then random pens and brushes I use almost every time I paint, and a couple little easels for my phone or tablet or what have you. Over here I have my pastels, my chalk pastels, and they're assorted by color in these 3 sets of 3 drawers. My laptop's right there, and underneath I have my brother's scan and cut machine, which I use to cut out things that I stamp, and I keep that bottom shelf empty for new things that I need to review. Moving over from there, I have a bulletin board. I use that in craft fairs a lot, and I have a fold-up table behind there. And then, was my smock and a quilt my mom made. Actually, I have an apron and smock hanging over that. And then I have my paint pens, some of my oil-based paint pens, and oil paints, as well as my golden open acrylics, because those are my favorite acrylics that I like to paint with. And then over there, I have my stamping wheels and a letterpress tray with my stamping wheel inks and also some random stamps. I also have some more accessories for the stamping wheel and more little building stamps in that little basket back there. This bookshelf is pretty much all watercolors. I have tiny palettes in that Organize little basket thing I found at TJ Maxx, and then I have palettes on the top 2 shelves there, and on the bottom I have some more artist tube paints, but ones that came in a full set. That binder there, it's not really a binder, it's a it's like a magazine rack. That's all my swatches. I put them in there from a binder because it's just so much easier to get them in and out. And I have marker swatches here. And I have a few craft magazines that I want to read before I pass along. And then a few reference books. Some are card making, some are graphic illustration books, different stuff like that. I've got some novelty yarns there, and I have them in here because I like to use them for embellishing cards, and a yarn bowl and a little wax melter thing, and my CD player radio. And then what I like to do is keep my laces in bird cages, and then I just pull out what I want from the from between the wires, and then I can put it on a card or scrapbook page or whatever. I've got some buttons and spools and seashells, kind of for decoration, kind of for using in crafts, and my knitting needles back there. All right, this wall is, kind of like if you go from my card making cart, that corner, you come around here. This is just a vanity my daughter didn't want anymore. Underneath there I have my sewing machine and a tote, and I don't have much in those drawers, so I mean, I'm not so sure I'm going to keep that, but for now it makes a nice bench for sewing. Here I have a cutting board with or a cutting mat with some shelf liner underneath it and a little ruler, cutting ruler, and I can put my sewing machine there and sew. I've got room under here for my legs, a little lamp there to light this up if I need to. And if we go underneath there, I have just a little tiny ironing board, and my iron is actually behind there. And then I've got embroidery floss. I've got a bunch of different embroidery flosses. I've got all my sewing stuff. I've got scissors. I've got threads and fabric markers and bias tape, replacement needles, like pins, and the stitch witchery stuff. I've got bobbins and fabric pastels. Chalks and tapes, measuring tapes and stuff for measuring things. And then I've got like elastic and zippers and elastic threaders and that sort of thing. And I've also got some like quilter rulers, quilting ruler things in there that are handy. I don't quilt. Well, I've done a couple little quilts that are on the wall over there, but it's not really my thing, but I do find those tools to be very useful. The other thing I have over here is some more card making stuff. And these are not the sturdiest, so I'm not necessarily recommending these, but they are really handy for holding stuff, but I just wish they were more durable. So in this top shelf, I have I got some stamping cardstock, a stamping pad, which is just like a thick foam pad, and then I've got my mini stamp pads, and I've got this like clear acrylic frame that I keep my mementos in, and then I've got these Gina K's and Hero Arts underneath. And it's just a great way to get a lot of colors in a little space. Then I've got my pigment inks there, so metallics and VersaFine Clair. Then I've got my Memento full-size pads, archival, stays on, the kind of more specialty ink pads. And then I've also got some fabric inks back there, which honestly I have not used. Adhesives and just some basic embossing powders and embossing pouches. Some rainbow ink pads and some other ink pads. Distress ink pads. Let's see. Might need to tip that down just a little bit. Blocks, and this is a homemade stamp pad cleaner that I made with paint pads from the hardware store. And I have one side for wet and dry. I just spray some cleaner on it, wipe my stamp on it, and then wipe it on the dry side, and I'm good to go. A Score Buddy, Crocodile, foam tape. Hopefully that was in camera. Some blending brushes. I know, it's kind of crazy. A little tiny trimmer and adhesive, and that's it. That's it for that. And gosh, that's pretty much it. I just have finished artwork in the armoire. Well, I guess I could show you. Let me see. Let me just see if I can put that up there. Okay. I think that's... So in here, was that going to show on camera? Yeah. I have finished artwork for the most part. And when I do craft fairs, I just bring out these baskets, and they're all full of my cards, and I put them on my craft table. So, and I just put them back in here. When the shop I was in went out of business, I just put them right in here. And I do have some packaging, like for stuff I've designed, like my brushes, because, you know, sentiments, I want a sentimentality, I want to keep them. And yeah, that's all just finished artwork. And then underneath here, which I'm not sure if that's going to show up or not, now I have something sticking out. Huh. How the heck did that go in there to begin with? There we go, now it shuts. Actually, I'll just bring this down here. It's so dark over here. Maybe that's better. This has, like, I have an extra tripod. I have, sometimes I live stream with this old phone, so I have that in there. I've got drop cloths for my displays. I've got extra tripods and chargers. And in there, it's all packaging. So it's all like clear bags and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's it. I guess you've seen the whole thing. Oh, one more thing, because I moved it from the other room, is this little iris cart right here. This is such a wonderful cart, but I didn't really have room for it in the other space anymore. So I've got brads and little die cut wooden pieces. I fit under here perfectly. So embellishments, mostly embellishments and paper craft stuff anyway, so I figured it made more sense for it to be in here. Anyhow, that drawer, something is full in there, it doesn't want to open. Oh, and my mat for my brother's scan and cut, I just hang that, since we have my scan and cut right there, my mat is hung on the edge, on the side of that, that thing there. So, yeah. So, there you have it. That's my filming room. That's where I keep the stuff that I use on a day-to-day basis, and often if I'm doing a project, if I don't have the stuff right here, I go in the room of hoard with a basket, I pull out all the things that I need for that project, and I bring them in here and I work on them, and then when I'm done with those products, I take them back to the storage room of hoard. So the room of hoard is technically like a glorified storage closet, and I can keep everything organized and find everything I need within a couple of seconds, and that's the way I like it. I do work down here full time, so I need it to be really efficient, and it is a bit of an excessive amount of supplies, but the fact that I don't have time to run into town, and even if I did run into town, they're probably not going to have what I need. Shipping to Maine takes forever, so it's just much more practical for me to have these products on hand, and most of them don't go bad. So, and I also teach. Disclaimers over. Hope you enjoyed this detailed tour. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, you can let me know that as well, and I'll help you out if I can. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye!